My name's Brian. Was recently diagnosed with stage 3 small cell carcinoma, lung cancer, and I live in Northern California, and I've been here pretty much all my life. I found out how I got my lung cancer by I just fell at work. I tripped like really awkwardly, and I'd never broken a bone before, but I was dragging something really heavy, and I got tripped up, and when my hand, I fell forward, and I was forced to let go of the object, which kind of sprung me forward, and I ended up breaking my hand and busting my shoulder and my face. And there was a big audience, like all the kids at the pool, and the dog barking in my ear, like, it was something else. But it ended up being lucky, but I thought I was good. Like I would, I just was off work and, got a cast and all that. And I was just healing, but then I started getting a lot of real pain in my shoulder area, kind of my armpit. So I was thinking maybe I fractured a rib, or maybe I bruised my lung or something. So I asked them to do an x-ray, and that's when they found a mass in my lung. And they weren't initially that worried about it. Like, they thought it was maybe a lung contusion, a bruise, because I'm so young for this kind of thing. So they're doing all these different tests and pretty much looking for everything except what it was. And I remember saying, like, I'm happy with it being anything except small cell carcinoma, because that would be the worst possible thing it could be. And, of course, that's what it ended up being. But thankfully, it's stage 3, but it's still limited stage. It's still in my left lung, contained there. So I still have hope. How I reacted initially, it was shock, obviously, but, well, I guess I'll do the lead-up part first. They just, they did lots of different tests. They thought it was a lung contusion, but then that was ruled out. Then they thought maybe I had bronchitis, and then they thought it could be a blood cancer. But they eventually did a bronchoscopy where they go down there. It was a new type of one where they go in there with a real fine needle and take samples. It was extraordinarily painful when I came out. But that's how they finally found out. They tested a bunch of different areas, and I kind of knew by the way the surgeon looked at me afterwards. He didn't tell me at the time. I had to wait, but I could see it in his eyes. So, and but yeah, when they called me and I found out about it, it was just total. I was expecting it, and it's something I'd feared I'd get this, like, for a long time. But it was just total, shock. I just broke down. And, it felt like it, because I had been researching, Googling all about it for a while, and I saw how, how bad it was. So it took me a while to develop that hope back up again. I reflected on it a lot. It's a blessing, breaking a bone. You'd never expect to say that. Say an injury is a blessing, but this stuff, it's super aggressive, so it spreads really fast. So who knows? Because I still don't feel that bad, like right now. Like, I have a cough and stuff, but that kind of all started after chemo. So, like, I probably would have thought I had COVID, or, like, any number of things, and just, I'm not one to go to the doctor, really. So it was like a perfect storm to get me in there and for them to just find it. I did have some symptoms. I had been, as I said, I'd worried I had cancer before. I had got a bronchoscopy once before because I've been having this heartburn for years, like right in this area, right where it is. And I went to the emergency room a couple times, like, sure, I had cancer. And they assured me that I didn't. That it was GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. Um, and they still think it was that because, like I said, this cancer spreads fast. So, because that was like 3 years ago when I went in. So that was the only sign. But other than that, recently, physically, I was doing really heavy work. I was taking 25,000 steps a day, just exerting myself, doing a lot of heavy stuff, and I felt fine. My treatment plan, it's chemo and radiation therapy. That's pretty much all I have, like my only options at this point. So I've done one round of chemo. Today I went into radiation therapy for the first time. I didn't get the treatment, but I did another PET scan. So hopefully in the next couple of days I'll see if it's working or if it's spread. So, but that's about it. It's my next round of chemo is not for a couple more weeks. I do 3 straight days and then 21 days off, and I'll be doing radiation therapy concurrent with it, 5 days a week, twice a day. So that's going to be a lot to deal with. But they say that the radiation doesn't really make you as sick. It's been pretty easy for me so far. Like I've been blessed in so many ways. But I'd say day 2, I was really fatigued, but just felt really sick, like a bad flu. But other than that, like the nausea and like the horror stories you hear about chemo, I've dodged that, thankfully. So I might get that in round 2 or round 3, but it's been pretty, and I feel like better. I've been having a great day today, and I just finished my last chemo on Wednesday, so I've recovered pretty quick from it. It's changed my life totally. I'm not working anymore. I mean, I do what I can from home on the computer in the office, but 80-90% of my job was physical. Going out there repairing properties and so I joke, I feel kind of like a teenager again. I'm just sleeping in all the time, and so it's kind of nice. I'm catching up for years worth of missed sleep, but it's a major change. It's you got to find ways to occupy your time, which is kind of what brought me to you guys. Like I was thinking about starting up a YouTube channel to share my journey and stuff, and then I started looking like, well, what does that look like? And then I found your channel and started watching some of that stuff, and I thought, I wonder if they'd be interested in my story. The mental side, I'd say that's been by far the hardest part for me, because I've always been like a real like empathetic and like introvert. Like I overthink everything, like wondering if I hurt somebody's feelings and that kind of stuff. So I'm in my head a lot, and the main thing that's kind of been on my mind is legacy and just how much time I've had and how little time I could have left. And it's a really, people talk about it all the time about taking every day for granted. Don't, seize the day, all this stuff. Don't take days for granted because you don't know. And until you really get to that point where you realize you might have an expiration date, it's kind of a cliche you think about, but it's something it's been on my mind a lot. And I just want, to just a little more time. And I'm confident I can get there. But it really, for me to get past those thoughts, I'd say the first week, 10 days, I was really in that, like, just distraught and, just upset about it, like, not much hope. But I kind of realized that I didn't have an option. Like, this is what it is. Like, and I got to deal with the stuff. I have to deal with it. And if it's bad news, it's bad news. I got to deal with it. There's nothing I can do about it. It sounds really basic, but that was really just kind of what helped me. It's like, if you want to get past it, you got to deal with it, and just deal with that next day, and just kind of like addiction, kind of like this one day at a time. Community's been really important. A lot of friends and family have came and been checking on me a lot, which obviously means the world. I never I've always, like I said, been introverted, so I didn't focus on those connections that much. But it was nice to know that despite all that, they were still there. Not that I was like, we just didn't talk as much as I probably would have liked to. But as far as community, I did I've been looking for like support groups. I've been having trouble finding them though. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm looking in the wrong places, but that is something that I've been curious about. And I did drop in on one, but they only meet once a month, and there wasn't anybody that had a situation like mine with lung cancer. Hope means everything right now. It's it's kind of all you got when you get to a spot like this, because even the best treatments, it's your odds aren't that great. So you just kind of have to hope that you're the one that I hope that I'm young enough and that I'm healthy enough at this point. But it's a powerful thing because like I said, I was in a bad place. It kind of got dark. I was really I needed to get off the internet, hang on to hope, because it's all I have. Because there's so much I want in life still, and I've been living life like I was gonna have all this time to do these things later. It's always later, and without the hope of having later, it's all that stuff is just not even an option. So hope is it's the power over. It's like the one thing that can talk us out of our rational thoughts and make us irrational. It's in a good way. Get off of Google and then the internet. Don't do that. Focus on yourself and just what you can do day by day, because you've really only got two options. You give in and you lose, or you keep hope and you fight. Maybe you lose, maybe you win, but if you lose, then you put in a hell of a fight, and that's something to be proud of. And if you make it, you went through hell, but you got a hell of a story, and you get your life. So stick with it. And I'm just at the start of my journey, so it's not like I know what it's all about, but that's what's helped me. Just, you only got two options.